Is your car watching you? Well, automobile expert Lauren Fix recently wrote that it might in a piece for Blaze News, and she joins us now. Lauren, how could our cars be monitoring us? This is so creepy.
Well, actually, they are. And it starts off, believe it or not, back in the infrastructure bill from 2021. And there's a kill switch law. We probably heard about Thomas Massey, the House of Representatives, trying to remove it. Well, guess what happened? That is just for those who like to look it up. It's Section 24220. And that kill switch law allowed them to listen in your car, to monitor your eyes, to literally track all your information. And then what are they doing with that information? Well, we know that manufacturers are hurting financially. We see a lot of cars sitting on lots. And as long as prices keep getting higher, their profit margins are shrinking. And so we could sell this data. This data has value. So they sell to the insurance companies, they sell to the police department. And then just recently, Ford decided to create a patent that would sell all your information directly to the police department, that they wouldn't have to go through some sort of contract, and then we just get paid that way, which again is a violation of our privacy and really infuriates me.
Well, yeah, shouldn't they have to disclose this to people that are buying a car, potentially buying a car?
Well, I think they do. How many times have you bought a new car or know someone that has, or been there when someone's gone to what they call the F&I, the finance and insurance guys, and there's long, long pieces of paper. Nobody reads it. I mean, you'd have to take it to a lawyer to have them read it before you got around to actually signing it and say, can I come back in 2 weeks? But what happens is we all just slide to the bottom, look at the lease numbers, look at the rate or the purchase price, and we sign the paperwork. At that point, you've agreed for the manufacturers to take that information. But then you get your vehicle and you want to sign up for satellite radio, for example. You agree to that. And you're then allowing satellite radio to take your data and sell it as well. So now it's being sold twice and you don't get anything. But then you think, I'd like to have Wi-Fi in the car. The kids who are, they want to play their games while we're traveling. We'll get Wi-Fi rather than using the cell service. That's also being tracked, whether it be AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon, whoever it is, they're collecting that data too. And all of this is being sold. Got to remember that when you're taking a loss in other areas, you got to make it up somehow. And they've done it with not just subscription fees, which we've covered on the Blaze under the Align column that I write for you, but also this is continually going on, and it's going to get worse because in 2026, all cars are going to have a kill switch in them, which we've also covered. And that's going to tell whether you're under the influence of something by the start-stop button. Now, this technology is starting to go into play right now, and I've actually experienced some of it in it already, and I'm not liking it because I know there's going to be a high failure rate.
Lauren, so in terms of legality here, is there anything on the books now that helps consumers? I mean, is all of this just perfectly legal?
Well, it actually probably isn't, but we sign those agreements. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't claim to be one, but I highly suggest you speak with one if you're worried. I know there's a couple of companies out there trying to help you go through the process. You can unsubscribe. You can tell Sirius and all these other companies, you do not take my information. You can do that on your phone as well. But I think what ends up happening is that information still gets out. And when you unsubscribe to them sharing your information, are they really? How do we know? There's no way to actually find that out. So from a legal standpoint, yes, they are violating your privacy. I would say at some point, and I've talked to a couple lawyers, they're looking at potential class action suits against not just the manufacturers, but all the sub-suppliers that are actually taking your data, but not paying you for it or allowing you to opt out of it.
Well, so Lauren, you also recently wrote about House Democrats and Republicans overturning a Biden administration rule that set tougher emission standards for car manufacturers. So what does this actually mean for American car owners?
Well, nothing just exactly yet, but this is interesting. Of course, the Republicans have been saying, we don't like this. This takes away your freedom. You should be able to choose whether you want gas or hybrid or diesel or electric, whatever combination you want. The problem is when the administration that's currently in play, the Biden administration, they want to mandate electric cars. And we know that Kamala Harris will follow that plan because it's about control and it limits your distance. Now, if you want an electric car, go buy one. Absolutely. Buy a Tesla, buy a Hyundai, buy a Ford, whatever you want. But when you take away people's ability to purchase what they want, that's the problem. So just recently, we had quite a few, a little over 10 Democrats jump on the same team saying this doesn't work. That's a big change. That means that they're willing to stand up. Now, we know we can get it across the Senate as well. The problem is we have been promised by the Biden administration that he will not sign it. So it would have to go back to the House, back to the Senate, and we'd have to override that veto. The only other way around this would be to elect President Trump, who has already promised that he will allow you to have choices. And that's what consumers really want.
Well, Lauren Fix, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to feel a lot more self-conscious when I'm driving in my car. I'll make sure not to sing too loudly, pick my nose. Like, I don't know what the car's doing with that information. So thank you very much for at least making us aware.
Thank you.